Hi, welcome to a product tutorial by Robojax. In this video we are going to see how we can use this YYC-2S up to 99 minutes relay timer with the trigger. We are going to test it with different functions step by step. Let's get started with this. Many times you need to control devices at the different intervals, on or off, or maybe based on some trigger or based on some power on. This device with a relay, you can control AC or DC loads. This device has in 4 groups of group 1, 2, 3, and 4. In each group we have 8. So 1 up to 8 or 11 to 18. It's 21 to 28, 31 to 38, and 41 to 48. So in total it's above 30 different functions which I'm going to test that can turn on and off different devices, either with this trigger. The trigger can be a push button, or the trigger can be a voltage from another source like Arduino or other microcontroller or PLC, whatever you have. So this can be controlled, and the variety of possibilities that they fit in this tiny module, it makes it very useful device to be used for different purposes. This comes with the 5, 12, and 24 volts relay type, or the module, so you can connect directly, power it either with 5 volts, 12 or 24 volts. This module is sold on Amazon.com for around $10, $9.50, and here on AliExpress it's shown at 5, 12, and 24. As you can see, they put YYC-2S. I'll provide you the link in case if you want to get it from AliExpress, Amazon, or eBay. I will test all the possibility of this programs that this relay module can do, and also will show you a graphical diagram so you can understand it better. Please watch the video before asking me question, because no question will be remained unanswered if you watch this video. The relay is rated at 10 ampere for 220 and 125 volts. In Asia, in Europe, with 220 volts, it will be 2200 watt. In America, 10 times 120 would be 1200, so 1.2 kilowatt. And if you're using AC, if you're using DC load, control DC load, still it will be 10 ampere. 3 wires here. When you connect to your load, the 2 wires from your load will come to this 2 pin on this side. So when the relay is energized, it connects it and disconnects it for you. So this is a positive, this is a negative for the power, and these are for the trigger of plus and minus. We have here an LED. When the relay is energized, you will see it, and we have 4-digit 7-segment display, and also we have 4 buttons here. This is being controlled by this microcontroller. On this side we have just a label and a wiring diagram with Chinese. The buttons are labeled as K1, K2, K3, K4. This should have had some kind of different labeling for different purpose. It would have been easy. The voltage regulator, once you connect your power, it goes to the voltage regulator. For internal circuitry, it will get 5 volts, and then the whatever voltage you have will come directly to the relay. Now here is the wiring. For your AC load or DC, you can put any load you want as long as the rating matches. One of the wire, just bring it this way, and the wire will get out, and the other wire will be connected here. So this 2 wire will be connected to AC or DC depending on your load. On this side, these 2 wires, this is the positive and this is the negative for the voltage, either 5, 12 or 24 volts, whatever your module is. And then these 2 wires, one from positive, one from the negative, if you want to use a push button. And this is connected like this, and it should work. The module length is 66 millimeter by 40.7 millimeter by 18.9 millimeter. To operate this, press this button. The P will blink. Now with this, we can change the groups 1, 2, 3, or 4. And with this 2, you can go up or down with the subgroup 1, 2, 3. This goes up to 8 and this goes up to 4. So in each group we have 8 of those. Now let's say we go in group 1 and 1. This is the beginning, P1. After this, press this button again. It goes for the A. You can set the number that shows here as A. Now this is 5 seconds depending on the function. Now it's 5 seconds. Now if I press this button here, when the when this dot blinks, this is now minute on this side. And if I press this again, it moves here. This is now second. Now this is 1 second, 1.2 seconds. And if you want to change it back, press this. Now it's 12 seconds. If you come here, it's 120 seconds. If I press this again, now this is minute. To reduce it back, you have to hold down until it goes back to 0. Now it's 62 seconds. And if I press this again, same thing happens for B, minute. Again, this is seconds, and just a second without the decimal point, and then disappears. So let's go to group 1. This is 1, 1. Once you set or select your group, press and hold, and this jumps to A. And then if you press again, it goes to B. We have 2 times, time A and time B, and exits. This means it's standby and the dashes, so that device is ready to be used. Let's start using it. I'm pressing this button here and hold it. When this blinks, 1 is here. If not, just press this. Go to group 1 and then make this 1. So P11. And P11, we have just a trigger. I'm using this arrow, and it will be either double-sided or single-sided. If it's single-sided, it means you have to push and hold. So as long as you're holding it, the relay will be on. When you release it, it will be off. P12, in program P12, now this is a double-sided. When you press and release, this will be on. Press and release, it will be off. Press and hold, change it. You see it jumped quick, and there is no time, so I'm just exiting. Press and release, it's on. This light is on, the load at the output is on now. Press and release, off. Now let's set program 1.3, press and hold, and increase this 1.3, press it again. This is now 10.7, that's too long. I'm gonna make it 5 seconds. Move that, that's 101 seconds. So 5 seconds, pressing this again. B is 3 seconds. I will not use it, but it's set. So in program 1.3, you press it and release. It will stay on for the time A, and it goes off. Then it accepts another trigger. If you do it again, it will be on and off. We have the time set for 5 seconds. It's on, countdown, and off. You can do it all over again. P14 is that it's the same as before. on, but at any moment if you press it, you can reset it again before the time goes. You can restart the time again. Let's set it. 1-4. This is 5 seconds. B is at 3. And now if I press it, as you can see, it's up to 4 or 5. If I wait, it goes off. But now let's try it here. It's now at 3. If I press it again, it will become 5. Press it again, it will be 5. So it allows you to reset the time with the trigger. P15 is the same as before at the first. When you trigger it, push and release. Let's say the time is 5, but you can reset it every time you press it. If you add more A to the time. The time A is 5 seconds. If you press it, it will be 1-5, and press it again, it will be 10, 15. So every time the trigger comes, the time increases. Let's set it. Press, that's 14. Just increase this. That's 15. A is 5 seconds. B is not used. 3 seconds. Exit. Now I'm pressing this. Now I'm just pushing. It's 5 seconds. If I wait, it will just turn off. Now let's see. 5. If I press it again, it will be added on top. If I press again, every time you press it, whatever is remaining, you see this is 7, 6. 6 plus 5, that was almost 11. So you just add every time you press it, it will be that amount of time. In 16, when you trigger it, it will be on, but at any moment you can press and turn it off before the time finishes. Set it. Now you are in 15. I'm going to 16. A is 5. B is not used, and exit. Okay, so now 5 seconds. Press it. It will turn off at any moment. If you don't do it, it will just complete the cycle and finish. Now in this mode, you trigger and it will be turned on, but if you press it, you reset the time at that moment. You reset it again to 5 seconds. Let's try it. Press it. Let's go to 17. A is 5 seconds. Exit. Now I press it. If I press it again, it will be 5. It will be 5. And the cycle complete, it turns off. P18, that's the last one in group 1, that's 8. This time the trigger button is not needed. When power is on, it stays on for the period A and then goes off. Press and go to 18. You see this button jumps quick. 18, A is 5, exit. Now I'm turning it off. So if I power this on, it's connected and waits until time A and turns off. Now this is the category 2, group 2, that's 1. We go 1 up to 8 in category 2, or 21 if you wish. Now this, when you trigger it, the off time starts with a countdown and then it goes on. Hold this. With this, change this category 2, and then with this one we can go up and down. So that's group 2, 1. A is 5, B is not used, and here. So I'm pressing it. Now it starts countdown for this A time and then goes on and it stays on. Again, when you press it after that, it will not have any effect. The countdown is there, but it will not have effect. Program 2.2. At 2.2, this will allow you to just press and hold. You see one arrow, press and hold and wait until A is finished and hold. It will stay on. This here doesn't need time. When you release it, it will go off. But A needs keep pressing it. Now I'm going to 2 2. A is 5 seconds, B is not used, off. Now if I press it, I have to hold it. If I release, it will go off. So I'm pressing and holding it. Then it goes on and stays on until the trigger is off or the voltage doesn't arrive. So I'm removing my hand, so it goes off. Now P23, we need just a trigger push. It's off for the A time and then goes on. And if you press this again, it will go off. If you do not do it, it continuously stays on. Now P23, press this, increase it. P23, A is 5, exit. Now if I press it, just trigger, it goes until A finishes, it goes on and it stays. Now if I press it again, it will have effect. It starts with A off and then go on. For this one, you have to hold it. You have to hold it until A finishes, it goes on. And then at this point, it will stay on. If you trigger it, if you release your hand, then it will count down and goes off. Check it. 4, P24, A is 5, exit. Now I'm holding it, countdown starts at off until it goes on. Now it's on. If I release it, countdown starts and it goes off. Now P25, now this time you press and hold it, it goes on, you can release it. But if you press and hold again, it goes off. So 5, A is 5, exit. Now I'm pressing and holding until A finishes, it goes on. After that you can release. But if I trigger it again, trigger again and hold, countdown starts and it goes off. P26, and you have to just press and release. It stays on for that period and then goes off. If you trigger it again, it will happen again. Press and hold, go to 26, A is 5, exit. Now if I just trigger it on for this A period and it goes off, I can do it again. And then trigger it, it stays off for that period and it goes on. It allows you to continuously do that. P27, A is 5, exit. Now pressing it again, one time, off for the A time, and then it goes on and it stays there. If I want to continue again, press it, again it goes off and goes on. P28, when you turn on the power, it waits for A and then it stays on continuously. Let's go P28, that's 8, A is 5, B is not used, exit. Now I'm disconnecting the power. Now it's off. When I turn it on, it count down for A off and then on. 1, 2, 3 up to after 5 it will go on and stays on. The P31, when you turn it on, it stays on for the A time and then goes off for the B and goes on for A, and continuously doing this. Let's change it. Press and hold. Change the category 3. Now we are in 3.1. A is 5 seconds and then B is 3. Now B is used and exit. Now I'm powering this off, disconnected. Now power on. For the A time it's on, and then it goes for the B, off, and again come back for A, and this loops continue like this. Now P32, we have to press and hold for A, and when continue keeping it, it goes to B. So it needs continuous trigger for the cycle of A and B to be repeated, like P31, but this time we need to also press the power, the trigger button. So let's go 31 and make it 32. A is 5, B is 3, exiting. Now press and hold, it goes for A, and B off, I'm holding it, and A on, and continues like that. P33, you press and release, A is on, and then it goes for B and continuously. Now let's go put 3, so I'm using 3, A is 5, B is 3, exit. I'm triggering it, A, it goes to B, it goes to A. Now the difference is that in A, in B, I can just turn it off, and it continues from A. As you can see, from B it will go to A, but I can turn it off at any time. For 3.4, when you turn on the power, it stays off for the time A, and it stays on for the time B, and it goes off. Let's press it, make this 4, A is 5, B is 3, exit. Let's power this on. I'm disconnecting it and power on. It's off. This goes for B, 3 seconds on and off, and it stays like that, off. Now this is P35. At 3.5 you just trigger and release. When the voltage comes, with the time A it's off, and then it goes for the time B, and then goes off. So it just needs trigger at B, doesn't matter. Press and hold, and that's 3.5, A is 5, B is 3, exit. So triggered, and then goes on for the time B, 3 seconds, and off. I can trigger it again at any moment. When it goes off, the switch, the trigger works, but at the middle you can reset it again, only for A. But when it's in B, the trigger doesn't work. P36, for 3.6 you have to press and hold it for the time A, and it goes, after that it goes to on. Press and hold this and changes to 6. A is 5, B is 3, exit. Now I have to press and hold, it's off until it goes on. When I release it at B, it doesn't have any effect. For A, I have to hold it, otherwise it will go off. So hold, and it goes to B. For 37, you have to just trigger it. It goes on, and after that it will go off. You cannot trigger it until the time B finishes. So 37, A is 5, B is 3, exit. Just trigger on. When it is here, this doesn't work. Three, 8, in this group 3, that's 8 one. So it goes for on, you have to press it. It goes just twice, on, off, and then stop. Press and hold, change, it's jumping, 38, and then A is 5, B is 3, exit. So trigger, that's A on, B off, and then A on again, and then B off, and that's it. So it repeated twice A and twice B, and exit. To 4, and then 1, we have time A, B. Now here we have C, but that will not have any effect. If I trigger it, it turns for the time A on and then goes off. But if I continuously trigger, the time will stay. If the signal from some source comes, it continues holding until the signal stops. Let's go to 4-2. Time A 5, B is, and then now C is 2. If I trigger, it will turn on for time A. If I trigger, it will be turned off for the time A. Wait for A, and then it goes to time B and turns on and then goes off again. Now let's go to 4-3. A, B, C, and C is 2. If I do this and hold it, nothing will happen. This is called falling edge. When I release, it triggers. For the time A is off, and it goes to time B on, and then goes off. Let's go to the 4-4. A is 5, B is 3, and C is 2. This time this is a count or loop. This works with power. Let me power it on. So the power on, it's on. With A, it waits for the B off. Now it goes again for A, because this is the second time A and B, and this off. So this was the C that we set as 2. Now let's go to 45 or 4-5. A, B, and then C is again 2. This time it's trigger. If you trigger, it's on for the time A, off for the time B, that's once, on for the time A again for the second time, and off. So this is with the trigger. Before it was just power. For 6, A, B, C is again 2. Now this one needs the number of A. A is now not the time. A is number of triggers. A was 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. It stays on like that. Now let's go to 7. That A is 5, B is 3, C is 2. If I trigger, 1 is here, it just stays, it just counts 2, 3, 4, 5. Now it goes for the time B and off. Now will it go with the 8, 5, B is 3, C is 2. Now this one, if pay attention, if I trigger 1, it goes. If it doesn't receive another trigger, it resets within a second. You see? But if I trigger quickly 1, 2, 3, you see? It was quick 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it goes for the time B. So A is now number of counts, B is the trigger. Thanks for watching. This was how to use this YYC-2S. If you like this video and learn something, please thumb up. Please also subscribe. I will have a lot of other modules and Arduino projects, so you can get updates of those. If you have comment or question, please post in the comment section below.